Hello, everyone. I apologize for not being able to be there with you this evening. I know some of the other high school principals are there, so they can answer your questions as follow up. If you have any questions for them, please feel free, or if you want to reach out to me at a later time, that's also fine. But I did want to go over some of our areas of strength. We do have quite a few. We made an increase. We are categorized as a yellow school. Last year, it was our color was orange. We did have an increase in our post secondary with a 2.0. Our graduation rate did fall just a little, but although it's still very high, but that is something we do want to recuperate this coming year and regain that drop. However, it is still an accolade that I wanted to share with you. We had an increase in 3.5 in our science, social studies, and writing, and our school climate and school safety is holding strong, but did increase with a 0.7. Here's all of our scores, and our overall index went from a 58.4 to a 60.8. So just enough increase to put us in a different category. Definitely some opportunities for growth. We are working on our novice reduction for all of our students. We also want to spend quite a bit of time looking at and thinking about strategies for our students with disabilities. We are still a TSI school, so that is something we want to eliminate this coming school year. And we have some things in place that I'll talk about in just a few minutes to hopefully get us out of being categorized as a TSI school. We are also working diligently on our ACT scores. As you all are aware, all of our sophomores are now taking the real ACT test at the expense of our school and our district, and freshmen pre-ACT. We also have quite a rigorous ACT prep going on with one of our teachers, Dr. Clayton. Our teachers are doing that in the classroom and on huddles. During huddles on Friday, we have an ACT prep that Dr. Clayton is facilitating for our students. So we feel very strongly about that. And again, we want to regain the 1.3 decrease in our graduation rate. Several things that we're directly addressing test scores. However, I do think it's the big picture, from school culture to instructional time to the expectations, doing things with intentionality and with fidelity, that all go into moving a school forward in test scores and in lots of other ways. But did want to go over a few of those things. Again, looking at test scores, I felt like there's so much that goes on at the high school, especially with college and career readiness, ACT, state testing, that it gets confusing for students and parents. So we have put this guide together that shows a little bit about, that tells the parents exactly what's going to happen in the area of testing with their child each year. We've laid that out in a very clear, one-page, concise document that we publish once a week that I send out, and the link to this is on our parent newsletter that goes out weekly. It also describes what each test means, because if you're not an educator, or especially a high school educator, that can get quite confusing. And who, if you have any questions, is in charge of that testing. And if you've got any questions about that, when or what your child is taking, we have a contact person for that. I felt like that was pretty important. We are also tracking our data very intentionally for all of our students. We have a spreadsheet for each grade level. I did remove the names, but we're looking at their ACT scores. We're looking at all the areas. If they take Coyote, if they did not meet benchmark and they take the Coyote test, how they're doing, dual credit, if they're earning any industry certification, they're passing any of their end of program exams. So all the things that go into the whole student, that way we can watch each individual student and say, hey, what area do we need to work on for this student? We feel like that's pretty important, and we all spend a lot of time looking at that. Also, stepping up our expectation with our honors policy. Last year, about 55% of our students graduated in honors, and it also sends a message that maybe our instruction is not that rigorous. However, we felt like that was a policy issue, not necessarily an instructional issue. So we looked at that, and that is something we're bringing before you as a board, to look at that honors policy, to make that a little more rigorous and a little more challenging to be an honors grad. We think we have the things in place to support that, but just wanted to tighten up what it takes to be an honor grad here at Marshall County High School. Our PLCs, working on our PLCs, we have a pacing guide giving our common informative assessments. Our PLC teams have been put in place, and we have strategically laid out exactly what we want to do and the deadlines that we want things done. And we've communicated that with our teachers. We'll be giving our first common formative assessment by October the 31st, looking at those results. But we have that laid out in a very clear, concise way that teachers understand the expectations for PLCs. Our response to intervention, that we have hired 2 interventionists, a full-time reading and a full-time math interventionist. They are working with our Tier 2 and Tier 3 students. They're freshmen. They are also pushing into our resource classes, which we feel like will support our students with disabilities. Again, a direct reflect of our TSI school being a TSI school due to our students with disabilities. So we have intentionally scheduled those in the classrooms this year, our 2 interventionists. We are also safeguarding our instructional time. We did eliminate some of the things. We still want school to be a fun place with lots of activities and lots of fun activities. However, we're a little more choosy about when and how we do those things. We keep them to a Friday. We keep them to a Friday afternoon during huddle, if at all possible, so that we can safeguard that instructional time and make sure students are in classes and not pulled for things and assemblies multiple days, multiple times throughout the week. We are already working on our schedule for next year. It won't necessarily obviously help this year, but next year we're looking at scheduling, talking to SBDM about that, but trying to ensure that our freshmen for sure have their core classes all year long. Then also looking at something for our sophomores for ELA and math. But we are already working on our course guide, trying to get ahead of the game so we have plenty of time to schedule and ensure that we have a solid schedule in place that can meet the needs of our students and hopefully increase instructional time, and give them the things that they need to continue to move our school forward. We've spent a lot of time on school culture. Our admin counselor team works great together. We have a weekly meeting and we have a bi-weekly task force meeting that includes our administrators, all of our guidance counselor, our CTE folks, mental health counselors, and we feel like we have a really strong, when you're looking at the 10 or 15 of us that are on that admin counselor team, lots of strengths that each person brings to the table, and we're capitalizing on those. And I think our ability to work together seamlessly is only going to help our school in the long run with all the things from school culture all the way to test scores. We also have, we did do a student interview, 100 student interview that we just completed. Those results are embedded and you can feel free to look at those. But we wanted to know how our students felt about our school, and they gave us some great suggestions, and we're trying to take their suggestions to improve our school. And they also, some accolades are they feel great about Marshall County High School, very proud of their school, and they love their teachers, and they feel very supported by their teachers. So I think that's our 2 strong things that we felt really good about when we interviewed our students. Thank you all for taking the time to watch this video. Again, other principals can answer any questions that you may have or follow up after this video, or feel free to reach out to me anytime. Thank you.